Welcome to Driving Revenue with B2B Cloud Commerce. My name is Jay Atkinson. I'm a B2B evangelist for Oracle. Been in the industry for probably about 18 plus years now. And I'm joined today by Mike Graziano. Graz, as most people call him.
That's easier. That's easier.
Yeah, that's an easier way to say it for sure. From TiesTech, and we've got Paul Zaher from WestRock, and we're going to talk about the WestRock story and how WestRock moved into B2B commerce. So, Mike, you want to give us just kind of a rundown of who you are and who TiesTech is and how you fit into this story?
Sure. Mike Graziano, SVP of Sales and Client Service at TiesTech. Like you, been in e-commerce 19 years at this point, and been with TiesTech for 6.5. And the quick hit with TiesTech is that we've been focused on e-commerce for 19 years, a really deep heritage in it. First with ATG and Endeca, and then over the last 4 years with Oracle Commerce Cloud. So from doing e-commerce implementations and then the maintenance and support thereafter, digital strategy and roadmaps, omni-channel commerce, visual, UX, design, QA testing and BI, data analytics, DevOps. Those are just some of the services that we provide in order to support our clients in their e-commerce endeavors.
Very cool. Sounds like a huge basket of services, but all the kind of things you really need to be successful in B2B. So just so everybody knows, we weren't able to get Paul in the studio today. He wasn't able to make it with us, but he is over the phone. So the disembodied voice that you're about to hear is Paul Zaher from WestRock. So Paul, do you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell us your role at WestRock and really what WestRock does?
Sure, Jay, and apologies for not being able to make it in studio today. Next time for sure. So Paul Zaher, I'm the Vice President of e-commerce at WestRock. And WestRock, if you haven't heard of us, what we say we do is connect people to products. And we do that by manufacturing and selling paper and paper-based packaging solutions that help our customers get their product to the end consumer. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia. We employ 50,000 people globally, operating about 320 manufacturing locations in 30-plus countries, with annual sales about $19 billion. The company operates in two segments, corrugated and consumer. Our corrugated segment, which is about 2/3 of our business, makes container board and converts that into packaging that would protect, ship, store, and display retail products. So think round cardboard box, pizza box kind of packaging. And then our consumer segment makes paperboard and converts that into packaging. And we help deliver products to end consumer across several markets. Think retail, food, beverage, healthcare, health and beauty, things like cereal boxes and more.
I always think of Chinese takeout boxes when I think of you guys, or pizza boxes, like you said. So,
yeah. So my role as Vice President of e-commerce is to advocate for the customer across our enterprise and develop new solutions on their behalf. I'm leading our digital customer experience initiative with the goal of applying our digital strategy to the ways we engage with our customers.
Very cool. So, and WestRock isn't your first job, of course, right? You've been in the industry for a while. What were you doing before you moved into WestRock?
Yeah, so I've been here 3 years now, but prior to that, all of my experience, about 25 years, was in a B2C role. I had 20 years in specialty apparel with Limited Brands in Columbus, Ohio.
Know them well.
So brands like Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, Express. And then 4 years up in Boston at Dunkin' Brands.
Dunkin'.
So the home office of Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. And all that time was websites and mobile apps and CRM and loyalty programs and really, understanding the customer on behalf of the business.
Very cool. So that's kind of an understanding of WestRock and who you are. But what is the project? What is this that your team decided to kind of move towards B2B commerce? What made you guys decide to do that? And why did that start up?
So our move to self-service B2B commerce really started with the customer. Just the changing needs and expectations of our customers. You think about how the B2B user experience has really lagged behind B2C and what we experience every day as consumers. Our customers wanted more transparency into our processes. They wanted confidence that we were going to deliver quality products on time. They also needed access to information and more information and anywhere at any time, ultimately to make sure it was very easy to do business with us. Now, we built a business case around it. It wasn't just because customers wanted it. We made the move because we expected results in terms of cost reductions and efficiencies and the cost to serve our customer. We wanted to remain competitively positioned in the market. We wanted to, in terms of customer advocacy, increase retention rates and improve net promoter scores. And we also wanted to increase sales overall by leveraging the digital platform to promote enterprise selling opportunities.
Interesting. So those customer portals is kind of where you started off with, but today, where are you at?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the portal was the first system, the first product we delivered. And the function of that is very simply order history and order status. So think about what have I ordered before, and where is my order? Those kinds of things. Downloading documents. It's very functional. I think it looks great too, but it's all about taking data that already exists at WestRock and exposing it to the customer. The real magic of the portal is that it combines data from different systems on the back end, different divisions and different products and all that. We hide all that complexity and we make everything available to our customer in a single, easy-to-use form that, again, they can access anywhere, anytime. And what we're starting to see are a lot of wins in terms of, not just the customer starting to adopt it, but we've proven that a digital channel here can enhance the customer's experience with WestRock. And we're really starting to, and this wasn't necessarily expected, but we're starting to see benefit internally as people who interact with these customers now have access to more data about them. They start to think about the customers very differently and understand their relationship with WestRock in an enterprise level, not an individual plant or product level. So while I lead the digital customer experience, it's actually sparked a whole conversation around what should our digital employee experience be.
Very interesting. It's tribal knowledge that drives a lot of B2B businesses. They feel like they know their customer. You probably run into this too, Mike, where they know the customer, they know exactly what they buy, they know, they could tell you how their organization's set up, everything else. Well, once you start bringing in those analytics, you start seeing the interactions that the customers are having and realizing you were pointed this way and they're pointed completely the other direction. Have you seen that, Mike, in other instances in the industry?
Sure. And, getting back to some of the things Paul was saying, obviously, if we can do call deflection through self-service, customer self-service, if we can shorten the duration of calls into the customer service center, obviously those things are going to drive a lot of cost savings. And, most of all, creating that unified brand experience, right? People tend to differentiate between B2C and B2B. Granted, there are some things that are unique that Paul can speak to in deep detail based on his experience, but it's still commerce and it's still an experience with a brand. And that's where that customer has to have that superlative experience regardless of the channel that they're in.
Exactly. So, kind of in line with that, those are some great rewards. And I know that's probably really helping the project continue to move along. But we all know this world isn't perfect. We always run into challenges. What do you think some of the biggest challenges with the project were? It sounds like you had great executive buy-in, things that quite often are difficult there. But what do you think the biggest challenge beyond, 20 ERPs integrated into the system? What were the things that really challenged you?
Yeah, so, I mean, here, and I would think this is true anywhere, especially in business that would be new to e-commerce, making a move into the e-commerce space. Don't underestimate the organizational change component. This will be a huge impact to a number of people who have been very successful for a long time without a digital channel. So as you think about extending that to your business, you really, there's no way to over communicate and overshare information about what you're doing in the organization to get buy-in. That was certainly a challenge for us, getting that message out to all the right audiences with the right content at the right time kind of conversations. A second challenge, you alluded to it, was really just the number of systems on the back end. We, growing through merger and acquisition, had acquired all of these different systems that, in many ways are essentially redundant. Each of them has something unique or something historical to it, but, the systems at a functional level could be very redundant. The strategy historically was not to reduce those, but is now part of our digital strategy. We're focused on reducing complexity, improving efficiency, and innovating or disrupting the business. So having that back in, it's like a gravity issue for me. I mean, I have to deal with it. But whether you have that many systems or not, I think another challenge in general is data governance. It's not something that gets a lot of airtime when you're talking about e-commerce, because all people want to see are the website and what it's going to look like. But it really does start with making sure you've got good, clean data on your customers and your locations and your products, all of those different facets, to make sure that the experience you're building is going to work and going to work reliably for your customers. It's based on good data governance processing.
So, one of the things that, of course, I want to get out of, understanding how you guys built out what you did is how did Oracle Commerce Cloud kind of come into play? And maybe I'll throw that over to you, Mike. Has it been a good fit? Have you guys been able to use it to handle what I would say is not the typical use case? What WestRock built it started in a very different place than what you would normally think about using Commerce Cloud for. So what are your thoughts as far as how it worked throughout the course of the project thus far?
Well, they were certainly innovative in how they used the product. And, based on us now working with the platform for almost 4 years at this point, we have a lot of deep experience with it. So something that wasn't native to the platform at the time, like single sign-on, was something that we would build extensions to. So be able to customize the platform and able to order to meet the client's needs.
And I will say, WestRock's site, at least the portal section, it's beautiful. It's what, to be honest, is what I want to see when I'm going in to look for that kind of data and information about my account or other things. So I'm actually really impressed by what was developed and what was put together. So we talked about challenges, we talked about the platform, we kind of talked about the different things, but I guess the question is now, for those who are listening in today or those who may watch this in the future, Paul, what advice would you give to those who maybe haven't taken the leap or just thinking about jumping in to B2B commerce? What things should they be looking out for? What advice would you give them?
I guess I'd start with jump. Go ahead, get started.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's really, one thing here was very interesting. We're a old manufacturer. We've been very successful for a very long time. We're really good at optimizing processes and being efficient. And when I came in and said, oh, well, let's just start and then we'll figure it out, it was a very different approach, right? So putting in agile development practices and going through sprints, it was just a very foreign concept to the developers that were here.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of that. Go ahead and get started. It's okay to start small. You'll learn and adapt and keep adding to it. So just, have that mindset. And I guess a second piece of advice would be find the pain points, whether they're your customers' pain points or your employees' pain points. Make sure you're going after the things that are going to make a difference to the people that are using the site. Those two things go together. You don't want to just get started and put up a site that doesn't do anything. Find the pain point and do it. And then I'd say also don't be afraid to go outside for talent. A lot of businesses that haven't gone into B2B commerce yet or commerce of any kind don't have the expertise in-house. So, leverage your business SMEs and everything they know about your business, but add to that with, skill sets, UI, UX designers, partners like Ties Tech. We had developers in-house, but they had never worked with Oracle. And now 2.5, almost 3 years later with Ties Tech, our team certainly has some capabilities now, but we're still engaged with Grazin team because I still have more work than my internal team could ever keep up with. So, bring in the talent you need to make it successful, and find some of those pain points and get going.
Cool, very cool. Well, I know we started a little bit late and we're probably running over a little bit, but I really want to thank you, Paul, for joining us today. I wish we would have had you in person, or maybe we could have got the video figured out to have you here today, but I really appreciate you sharing your story, and look forward to being able to share that story more, because I think what WestRock has been able to do has been amazing. It's a really good look at how a B2B business can really turn from solving a challenge into driving additional revenue. And I know you'll get to that point where you can make those numbers show up to your executive team to really show what that true benefit has been. And I appreciate, Mike, for you joining us here today. It's been great to have you here. And I think Ties Tech, as Paul mentioned, you have to have a good partner. And you guys, you've got a great reputation in the industry, a great reputation in the Oracle Commerce, arena, as it were. And so it's really good to have you guys here and to know that you're there to help out in all those different areas, especially with all the services you guys supply. So thank you very much.
No, much appreciated. And as always on our side, it's all about our team. That's what it comes down to.
Very cool.
And the client, of course, focus on them.
Of course, the client. Well, I know this is a little different from a typical webinar. This is actually going to be a recorded podcast, and we'll actually put this out, a recording out probably in a week or two. But we'd love to hear your feedback. So as you get your feedback form through Zoom or something else, let us know. Was this interesting? Are these type of stories things that help you out, help drive your business, or help you think at a different angle? So definitely want to get feedback. And again, we appreciate so much for you joining in today. And thank you. Thank you very much.